Hey guys, this is Shane and welcome to my Curator of the Lost channel. Today, hey, I'm going to go over a bunch of books, the majority of which I'll say were a scan fest, what I'd found with the ScoutIQ app. A few of the Mach 1 calibrated eyeball finds, but I'd gone into a thrift store earlier in the week and it's one that has a lot of stock and they turn over, they get a lot of donations quite often. I'd stop by and it was pretty depleted. Like the shelves, the bookshelves had just big holes in them, which is unusual for this place. So I thought to myself, I need to swing back by here in a couple of days. And so I had to go to the post office, and it's kind of on the way to the post office. So I dropped stuff off and then swung by. And I was right. They had replenished the shelves. And there are a few things I pulled, and then I could just tell what was new because I'd only been there a few days earlier. So I just scanned a bunch of stuff, and I pulled out. I've got like 22 books. Had some great finds, and just show you the types of things that I pulled. And most of these, I think, all the paperbacks were like $1.50. The hardbacks were $2, and all of these are going to go to Amazon. I'm just going to send all these to Amazon, and there's probably over half of them that are in this $5 to $7, $5 to $8 range, and then some higher dollar ones too. So I'll show you those as I get into them. So hey, thanks for the views, for the comments, for subscribing, all the channel support, and hey, we'll just you guys like it and you watch them. I'll keep doing it. We'll just see what happens. So let's jump in. So this first, I don't know, probably 12 or so. All of these books are in the profit potential. When I scan these and look at what I'm going to list them for, I'm selling on Amazon. My store's only about 6 weeks old, and it's I'm basically on these books with Fulfilled by Amazon. I'm going to see anywhere between $5 and $8 profit. So here's what they were. So this one, beginning theory, kind of a literature and culture theory. I like that cover. That's pretty cool. It's kind of nice. And here's one. It's a soccer book. Not just any soccer. This was how to develop power, strength training, type things. Here's a kind of fun one. Mathletics. This is basically how gamblers, managers, and sports people use math. Kind of like the quantitative statistics type thing, right? Vanity Fair's Proust questionnaire. So this is they're looking at love, death, happiness, and the meaning of life. So I know how to keep that one and read it. All right, you got to have, in Alabama, you got to have a few of your gun enthusiast books, right? So here's the M16, AR-15 rifle guide. Aquatic trout foods. Now this one I recognize. I've sold this one before in hardback, and sending this paperback, it's in great shape. Sending it into Amazon. I think it's more like the $8 range. I'm just going to do it that way. I might be able to get a little more for it. If on this one, I think before fees. eBay might be better, but I'm trying to get that Amazon store built up, and this will be at least $8 profit, maybe $9. So, but I've sold this one before, so it was an easy pick. Hopefully I didn't damage those. I'll have to check them, make sure before I send them. Live action shot. Okay, so then here's one, World War II, A World at Arms. Really thick, heavy book. It's great shape. Doesn't even look like it's been read. I like this one because it was a Cambridge University Press. Again, it'll make, be in that $6 to $8 range of profit. And I'll say again, on some of these World War II type books, history books, you just have to check them. This could have been a $40 book profit, or the $5 profit, and it's just hit or miss. You just have to check your comps. I'll be a little more comfortable there on setting those down. This was an interesting one. It's actually in the fiction section. This remember Mary Shelley, Mary Stewart. Didn't she wrote like the Crystal Cave? Some of the Arthurian, enchanted something, but it was like a trilogy she's really well known for. This one, it had The Wind Off the Small Isles and The Lost One. And the cover caught my eye, but I wasn't familiar with this. And it turns out it'll sell. It's, you know, make $5 or $6 profit on it. Training Your Retriever. Okay, this was a hardback, paid $2, but I'll still be able to make about $6 on this one. This is a genre that I look for often. It's the, you know, retriever training, right? The things that, any kind of dog training, I always look them up because it's a good niche area to, you know, one of those, you know, people need it all the time, and they have this particular breed. But, you know, bird dog, especially like bird dog, hunting dog training, it's a good area to look at. Then here was a memorizing pharmacology, a relaxed approach. That's one thing I always thought, like with for doctors, and especially for, you know, pharmacists, and a lot of the, you know, the drugs and compounds, you know, they got names that are, you know, have 14 syllables and are about that long. You know, how to memorize that stuff and pronounce it, that would be challenging for me. As any short or long-term viewers of my channel have probably seen, pronunciation sometimes is kind of a challenge. Okay, this was one that I would have picked. I scanned it, but I would have picked this one anyway. This Requiem for the Requiem. There you go, pronunciation. Requiem for the Battleship Yamato. It's funny, I just talked about pronunciation right before this book, so that was unplanned. But yeah, that's kind of cool. Translated copy again. And then this one I thought was cool. It was a for Nashville. I'll Take You There. It's kind of like a guidebook for social justice sites. So you know, only a couple hours from Nashville. Love Nashville, so I'll have to check this one out. But I'll send it in and sell it. So that's those were all the ones that were in this. Like I said, from the ScanFest, I was getting stuff that were in that $5 to $8 range. So then, actually, I picked this one up with my eyeball. This red-footed tortoise in captivity. That was like $9 profit on Amazon. This one was kind of crazy. It's this The Ravens, The Secret War of Laos. And I'm thinking I'm going to make about $12 profit on this, but the prices on this go all over the place. Like Merchant Fulfilled is like, on Amazon, it's like 20-something bucks, and then it's like $40 for FBA. And so depending on how I price this, I think it's probably a minimum of about $12 profit, but could push it a little higher. Here's another one I pulled out with my eyeball, Singularities. I think this one comes up, it says it should be about $25 profit. It's Landmarks on the Pathway of Life. I don't know. Again, it was another one of these Cambridge University ones. You know, I like these university presses, small publishers. That's something I always look for. Another one that I knew I was going to get was this competition car suspension. This is another one of those niche, you know, be on the lookout subjects, right? Car suspension, racing suspension. So, you know, if you pull that thread, right, it's not just about racing, which is a really good genre in itself. It's car suspension, how to set up a car. Sometimes these are for street cars or racing cars, but it's another genre that I always look for. The next one is kind of a sci-fi art. This Mechanica. This one, depending on how I price it, I think this will be about $10 profit. Although this thing new is selling for 50 to 60 bucks. So the used prices, I think I'll still make maybe 10. I might make $15 profit on this sales potential. And then here was a Sukhoi fighter, the fencer. This is showing for the Fulfilled by Amazon like $30 potential profit. Now, the next ones are textbooks. Okay, the last of the finds. What I will say is that the ScoutIQ and the scanning has been really helpful for me on are textbooks. Okay, old textbooks I kind of get a feel for, you know, but textbooks are tough, right? Because they can be really expensive or they can be worthless. Like depending on what edition it is, how old it is, and just, you know, it's timing. You know, if you know, when universities and schools are going back, you know, you get a spike where people buying their textbooks before the semester starts. But, you know, understanding that is really tough just from a knowledge perspective. You really have to do your comps on these things, or you can pay for textbooks and they are really worthless. You know, I have a little bit more of a ability to pick them out on some of the old vintage stuff, you know, and things I look at on old stuff all the time. I've said before is if it's from Caltech or MIT or Stanford, if the professor, whoever wrote it, you know, some PhD from one of those, Georgia Tech, even some of the books I get from there, these really, really awesome engineering schools, right? Science and technology engineering schools. Those tend to be classic, seminal type, you know, textbooks that will last and people will reference them. But there's a lot of those that, you know, you're only going to sell them for like $4 or $5 and it's not worth my effort. But I will say on new stuff, using ScoutIQ really, really helps and lets you separate the wheat from the chaff really fast. And I really appreciate what that's doing for me on the textbook front. So here's some examples. Here's like this chemistry study guide showing a $42 profit potential on this one. There was a calculus. This is the solutions manual, single variable calculus, showing $22 profit. Here was actually a study guide for the Army instrument flight training. This one's showing like $11 profit, but still good. And then the final one, it's a real colorful book, this Essential Cell Biology, okay? And this one's showing $48 profit. You know, and what was interesting about this one to me is that it had an E-score on ScoutIQ of like 96, which, you know, if it's above 151, if it's like 180, that's selling like every day. So this thing's selling, you know, every couple of days, and it's got a profit potential of like $48. So I got this for $2, so it's a great find. It's got a few, you know, it's got a little bit of edge wear. I'll, you know, just call it good, and it's in great shape. No writing, so good finds. So that's it. You know, sometimes when I go in, I'm, you know, picking them out with my eyeball, and I, you know, I was recently, I don't think I've got them in a stack to make a video on and get them processed. I've got some books that I, you know, I went to a sale and they were all like, nothing had a barcode and everything was just kind of picked out by eye, a few comps, and it's stuff that I'll definitely put on eBay. All of this stuff I'm just going to send to Amazon. It's all, and it was really easy, fast, and so I'm enjoying, you know, just the different tools in the toolbox, right? It's cherry picking some and scanning some, and it's working for me. And you know, that's what I was hoping to do when I was kind of expanding from the eBay traditional sales that I was in versus the Amazon. So, you know, I'll just keep it up, see what happens. It's I'm finding lots of books now, and it's just process them, get them out there, and you know, you see cool, you got to buy cool, and that's it. So, hey, I appreciate the views again. If you hadn't subscribe, keep doing it, and give me some comments and feedback, and I look forward to hearing what you got to say. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.